Chapter 17, David and Goliath. Sukkah is about 27 kilometers, that is 17 miles, southwest of Jerusalem. The land belonged to the Israelites, but the Philistines were attacking it. This time, the Philistines did not fight with all their army. They did not want the Israelites to kill any of their soldiers. Instead, they wanted an Israelite soldier who was a champion to fight against Goliath. Goliath was a Philistine soldier who was their champion. The Philistines were certain that they would win. Goliath was a very tall man. He had very strong armor to protect him. You can read about the armor in chapter 14. A javelin is like an arrow, much bigger and stronger. A soldier throws it at the enemy. Goliath's spear was an iron point. Iron is stronger than bronze. When Goliath opposed the army of Israel, he also opposed the God of Israel. Saul was a tall man. Chapter 9 verse 2. He was a strong soldier. In chapter 11, the Holy Spirit made Saul strong to fight the Ammonites. But Saul did not trust God now. He was afraid of Goliath. Saul was not a good leader for the Israelite army. Ephrathah is another name for Bethlehem. Judah is the land that belongs to the tribe of Judah. Jesse was too old to fight in an army, but 3 of his sons were in Saul's army. When David was with Saul, David played his harp. When Saul did not need him, David went back to Bethlehem. Jesse's son had been with Saul for at least 6 weeks. Jesse wanted to know whether they were safe. He also wanted to know whether the battle was going well. So he sent David with some food for them. First, David got another shepherd to look after his sheep. Then he went to find his brothers. Goliath insulted the Israelite army twice a day for 40 days. Every day the Israelites got ready for a battle. They shouted their war cry and they went out. They hoped that this would frighten their enemy. Also, it should have made the Israelites feel brave. But every day they saw Goliath and were afraid of him. They ran away always. David arrived at the Israelites' camp and heard Goliath shouting to them. Saul wanted a man to kill Goliath. The man should save Israel. Saul offered a big reward. First, he offered a lot of money. Then the man should marry Saul's daughter. In his nation, a father chose whom his daughter married. Saul would be happy to have brave men in his family. The reward was not just for the brave man. It was for his family too. They would not have to pay taxes in Israel. The Hebrew word means that the family would be free. This can also mean that they did not have to serve the king. The Israelite soldiers knew the reward for the man who killed Goliath. David did not know this, so he had to ask. David did not want honor for himself. He wanted honor for the living God. Heathen Philistine means that the Philistine did not worship the one true living God. They worshipped false gods and idols, including Dagon. David did not want Israel to have shame. He did not like it when Goliath insulted the Lord of Israel. Eliab was angry with David and insulted him. Perhaps he was jealous of David. Eliab was afraid of Goliath, but David was not afraid of him. David was a young man, but he was very brave. He protected his father's sheep. He did not like it when wild animals stole the sheep. God had helped him to kill fierce lions and bears. He knew that God would help him to kill Goliath in this battle. David insulted Goliath when he called him a heathen Philistine. No one in the army of Israel could fight Goliath, so Saul let David fight him. Saul gave David his armor to protect him, but David was not used to wearing armor. Instead, David trusted God to protect him. The battle was not really between David and Goliath. The battle was between Goliath's God and the God of Israel, Yahweh. Someone insulted a person if he called him a dog. Goliath thought that David was insulting him. Goliath did not know the power of Israel's God. He thought that no one could ever defeat him. Goliath thought that his armor and his strength would protect him. David was very confident with God's love. The name of the Lord, verse 45, is another way to refer to the Lord. See Exodus chapter 3, verse 13 to 15. David knew the power of this God. He also knew that this was the Lord's battle and not his. He told this to Goliath. David gave the honor to God. David could see where Goliath's helmet did not protect him. So David took just his shepherd's stick, bag and a sling. A shepherd used his stick to fight wild animals. A sling was a piece of material with a string on each side. David put the stone in the material and held the two pieces of string. He swung this around fast, and then he let go of one piece of string. The stone went through the air very fast. David could attack Goliath before he got too close. David was an expert with the sling. He was very accurate. He had probably often practiced while he looked after the sheep. The stone hit Goliath. It made him unconscious and he fell forward. David did not have a sword of his own, so he used Goliath's sword to cut off his head. The Philistines saw the power of Israel's God. They ran away, but they did not become slaves to Israelites as Goliath had said in verse 9. The Israelites killed many Philistines as they ran home. After a battle, the soldiers robbed the enemy that they had defeated. This was the soldiers' reward. David took Goliath's armor as his reward. In 1 Samuel chapter 21 verse 9, the priest had Goliath's sword. Perhaps David gave the sword to the Lord because the Lord won the battle. In those days, the army that won the battle cut off the head of the enemy's leader. This was the prize for the winner. It made the army who lost the battle feel humble. Verse 54 does not say when David took Goliath's head to Jerusalem. The people from the Jebusite tribe lived in the Jerusalem at that time. Perhaps David took Goliath's head there to warn them. David attacked Jerusalem many years later. See 2 Samuel chapter 5. Saul now had to keep his promise. David could claim Saul's daughter for his wife, and Jesse's family would be free from the king's taxes and service. David had played his music to Saul, so Saul knew David. Now Saul wanted to know more about David's father. Saul's daughter would become part of Jesse's family.